United.
Tragedy is imminent. We live in tragedy. I am tragedy. The t-shirt of today is tragedy. And to not be confusing for you, let's not mistake that for a band from New York, which recently popped out of nowhere. They are not the tragedy I mean. That's a tragedy. The Greek genre, based on human suffering and mainly the terrible and sorrowful events of a main character, which is now me, because I see their pictures popping up in front of ranking first before the real deal comes. The Tragedy from Oregon, being around since 2000. And that being a hardcore punk band, neocrust beasts. I've seen them in Germany, Berlin once, and it was just one of the most powerful concerts I've been to. The other ones seem to be sort of disco rip-off parody band. So they call themselves an all-metal tribute to the Bee Gees and beyond. That should tell you already everything. They play cover versions of the Pointer Sisters, I'm Excited, I Will Survive, or Aquarius, and that being said, badly. So not a great metal at all. Just posers. We called them posers in the 80s, and I do not want to point to those. I refuse. The real tragedy, Todd Burdett's classic growl and Billy Davis' gruff screams and thundering bass and the upbeat songs will be unmistakably the real deal. Go there and listen to Vengeance from 2003. 38 minutes of raw power, or also the Can We Call This Life from 2002. The short Fury is also not bad, only 16 minutes from 2018. So that brings us back to the tragedy of the tragedies, because AI might be exactly that symbol of piggybacking on the achievements of others. And if a band is calling themselves in the same way, like kind of call yourself the Beatles, try. They had a legal claim with Apple for a long time because of Apple Records, and Apple calling themselves in another kind of sector, Apple, tech sector, and yes, they had also music in there, but that was the real kind of source of the problem. But you cannot just kind of name yourself like this without legal repercussions. So there should be some legal teams of the publishers sorting that out. And I'm sorry for the guys who don't even have a PR team probably out there. They don't have a website. I mean, the real deal guys from Portland, Oregon are kind of very mysterious and retracted. They don't do this kind of thing. They are not the posers outside on the stage and on Facebook and social media. They just do their stuff and drop their albums once in a while. Second theme, Forbidden Planet. This is called The Tragedy of the Forbidden Planet. And yes, we talk about the Forbidden Planet classic science fiction movie from 1956, American movie directed by Fred M. Wilcox, the one who beforehand in the 40s made Lassie movies, like Lassie Come Home from 43, which is funny, starring the young and dashing Leslie Nielsen and Anne Francis, and notoriously the Robbie the Robot. I don't like robots, actually, in science fiction movies, and please no children. Some exceptions. So many consider this a loose adaptation of Shakespeare's The Tempest. Could be, yeah. Plot is roughly there, but they are pioneering in several aspects. This movie tells us much, and also much maybe about machine learning AI in our current times. In cinema, it was the first to be entirely on another planet. That was not done before. In space, far away from planet Earth. Robbie the Robot was a character with a proper personality and not just standing there in a tin can in the corner. He was definitely a person and an important part of the plot, and not just mechanical. So And the music there was the first score entirely made by electronic music being composed by Bebe and Louis Barron. So that's interesting in itself. But what about the story? There's something in the story which kind of is telling for us. A spaceship is encountering a planet where only 2 people are living. The crew seem to have perished. Commander Adams and Doctor, almost like Kirk and McCoy, are going down to the planet to meet Dr. Morbius and his daughter. They say all the others have perished for natural causes, but there is something lurking, of course, and we find out, spoiler alert, that Dr. Morbius has encountered or is studying an ancient civilization, 200,000 years old, advanced technology, and they are called the Krell. And the Krell have devised and developed machines. The machine he's using produced, for example, Robbie the Robot, and it manifests thoughts. And the interesting part in it is that the Doctor, as well as the Krell themselves, have forgotten that a miraculous machine like this might have a flaw. And the flaw is, if it manifests what is in the mind, it's not just the conscious thoughts, but also the subconscious thoughts, the fears, anger, traumas. And they come out, and that's the reason why the Krell got extinct. Surprise. And that's the reason why the spaceship gets attacked. Surprise. That kills Dr. Morbius and the Doctor, the McCoy of the story, and gives us something to think about, because the subconscious, they call it the monsters from the id, psychological conception of the id, is being put in there as those dangerous things we are not aware of, but will haunt us. They will haunt us in ways which also artificial intelligence and the machine learning based on human training data might expose exactly that. Things which look like a mix of Francis Bacon and David Cronenberg in a David Lynch setting. It's eerie, scary. Something in the settings, something in the overall quality of it, even if it's almost perfect, gives you the creeps. and that's, in my point of view, the Krell legacy. The it comes through, and it will not be. We will not be able to erase that, because all the artists are probably haunted by the same things too, and they use it as well. It's a driver of our human endeavors. The it is part of our human nature, so. It might get aggravated, it might get focused and expanded through machine learning here, and that makes all this output in big parts eerie tragedy, and pus of human subconscious horror. I have to punish myself totally over time. The one-stop shop of excuse is 2 themes, 2 big ones. I expanded on the t-shirt of the day, and I put a movie in, so no excuses. I will do a certain punishment if I'm going over time. I will taint the whole kind of thing red after 5 minutes, and you can decide if you just click away. You will not watch it anyways, so but you will now understand why the thing was red. So bad boy.